All right, here we are. We are at the final roll. I'll give it a little bit of context before we dig in. This one I know is called the surf and turf. I don't know. Well, I do know. There's some tempura, which makes it the surfy, and then the turf is some steak on top. So
that's what I thought it was, but I wasn't sure.
yeah, I don't think I've seen a roll like this. So Adeline, if you don't mind
do the honors.
doing the honors.
Don't have to ask me twice.
Yes, yes.
Oh, is there asparagus in there?
It looks like
That
yeah.
is so fun.
They
Don't
pass
have
it.
that every day. How can you tell it's asparagus from looking at it?
The tails.
Oh yeah, that is asparagus. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Well, it's this is pretty rare-ish, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't see
Yeah.
that every day.
Yeah, I've never had a roll with, I think, beef.
Also, yeah, that too. Beef and asparagus.
Yeah.
You're throwing a wild card out.
Oh, I know.
Okay. Let's give it a test. Good. Is the top two good?
It's super unique. I do like it.
That one moved up. This is now my least favorite.
Yep, me too.
Pork eel can't get any love.
Is that whole spicy, or did I just put
No.
more wasabi on there?
Mine wasn't spicy at all.
Not spicy.
Alright.
No.
That was really good. Now I actually don't know which one I would pick between that one and
Very unique, huh? Yeah.
It's unique. What's on top of it?
Yeah.
it's
Garlic.
Ooh,
yeah.
that's a nice touch.
It's like,
Yeah. Ooh.
But that feels all you.
no, I think another.
Okay.
I don't know what.
Or what are you?
Heating up.
Whatever your heart's desire.
Alright.
Ooh, I'm gonna have another one of these.
Alright, let's look at this again. That is
So-
garlic.
I had a question for you two, or I guess all three of us, that relates to this since we're eating. But how would you describe mealtime growing up? What did that look like at home?
Phoebe?
Oh, so mealtime was actually something that was really important in my family. My parents weren't really strict, but they really had one rule. You know, I could go anywhere after school, I could hang out with friends, but really the one rule is we always have dinner together. So it was really funny because when I got to high school, actually, there would be days where I'm like off hanging out with friends, especially in the summers, and you know how days just kind of like roll into nights in those phases of life? Well, it'd be funny because my friends always knew that no matter what we were doing, where we were hanging out, Phoebe's gonna bounce at 6 o'clock for about an hour and go have dinner with her family, and then I always go back.
Oh,
Yeah, but I would always make it a point that, you know, we, all four of us, my mom, dad, my sister, and I would always have a meal together. And so, and same, breakfast was also really important. My dad always put like a big spread out for us. So I think that's also what kind of made me a little bit of a foodie. I think just meals and food were always just such a priority in our family. My parents both are such good cooks.
So they would both cook. They would kind of rotate.
Yeah, my parents rotated. My dad always had breakfast. My mom would do probably like 70% of dinners, and my dad kind of rotated. Yeah, it's really nice.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's so important. I feel like the importance of just having family dinners is so underestimated sometimes.
What about you, Cliff?
Me, same. Yeah, I think, but I did not have the luxury of being able to go out after dinner. It was until nighttime and then come home. But interestingly enough, I feel like we had different phases for my family because my memory might be a little bit foggy, but there's a period where my mom worked kind of like graveyard shift. So then I remember that being a lot of like my dad would be cooking dinner. My sister would be there, of course, too. And then later on, when she was not working graveyard shift, then it became very much like what you're describing. All of us coming together for dinner, kind of no exceptions. I have this really good experience, like memory of us just always sitting at that dining table. My dad's seat, the same spot, my mom, and then my sister.
Yeah.
And it was just a good time for us to bond. Yeah, my dad growing up, it's weird how I have all these different phases of what the family looked like, but my dad growing up did all the cooking. And then when my dad started his new career as an insurance agent in his 40s, he was so busy with that it rotated, and my mom did all the cooking.
Yeah.
And then now, in their retirement, my dad is back to doing
Aww.
cooking at home. So it's like different phases, different seasons of life.
It's so sweet.
And it's nice to see kind of families and how, you know, each partner as well in a partnership kind of flex to support the other. Like, I think that's such a good example growing up for you to be able to witness, and then like something that you can bring into your marriage and your family.
True.
Yes, yeah. But my cooking skills are not.
But you're working on it,
We're working on
right?
it.
We're working on it.
So does Misa do most of the cooking?
She does like
Okay.
all of the cooking. Yeah. So that is like on my list of skills to acquire in adulthood.
I see.
Is it one of your resolutions this year?
It is one of my resolutions this year. Yeah.
Nice.
Friday night dinners. What about you?
Okay, so for me, I would say growing up, my mom was the main cook in the home. My dad was, typically working long hours. And so, similar to you, honestly, sometimes I would make up white lies with my friends. So when they see this, they're gonna laugh at me. But I have to, even if I was invited to go hang out, after school, I'd be like, even if I didn't have to be home for dinner, I would want to be home for dinner and me to say I have to be home for dinner. Just because I really valued having that time, with my sisters, my mom, and
So you would lie to your friends and be like,
yeah,
Even if she had to go, she had to.
wow.
Even though my mom probably would have been like, yeah, go have dinner with your friends after school. It's totally fine. I was just like, I'm sorry, I have to be home. Oh my gosh, if they see this, they probably already know.
But it's so wholesome. The fact that you just love your family that much.
Yeah. So
It's usually the opposite way.
Yeah, where
Be
you
lying to your parents to
I
stay
know.
out longer with your friends.
Yeah.
That's really
And the other thing too is I feel like I'm naturally a homebody family person anyways, and I just wanted to get home after school and chill and do homework, of course. One funny example of just food in my childhood was before every exam at school, my mom would make it a point to cook us fish for dinner. Because she's like, no, fish makes you smarter. So you have to eat fish the night before your exam.
And that's how you get into Yale.
It worked. Yeah, that is a winning.
No, the funny thing is though, these days, I think for my real estate exam, I was telling my mom about it, and then she was like, you should have some fish before the exam. And I know scientifically that's probably not gonna make much of a difference, but it's become almost like a superstition.
Yes.
I'm like, don't eat fish. I'm gonna be thinking about it the entire exam. And then
And then if you don't,
oh my gosh,
then it's the fish.
yeah.
So
I did.
a specific type of fish?
No, just any fish.
Any fish.
Any fish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Those
Steamed
omega-3s.
fish, salmon.
Oh my gosh, now I know before I submit that offer on Wednesday.
Grab a filet of fish from
I'm gonna be eating
Does
fish.
filet of fish count? I feel like
I don't think so. But it fulfills the superstition aspect of it at least.
As a follow-up to the at home or what was dinner time like? What type of meals did you eat at home? Was it I don't know what meal comes to mind? Was it what type of cuisine?
Yeah, we did a lot of just kind of Chinese stir fry basics. So white rice typically, and then stir fried veggies, maybe stir fried meat in there. Very simple. My parents are both ethnically Chinese. My dad's from Singapore. My mom's from Cambodia. So sometimes there's maybe more Cambodian things mixed in there, but very rarely. One thing I learned recently though is that growing up, I was like, my mom loves to cook. She must love to cook. She cooked every day, every meal for us. She loves it, right? And very recently, I think I said this to her face, and she was like, I don't like to cook. I cook because I had to. So that's funny because I feel like Aaron, my fiance, knows that my mom's a great cook. And so he expected me to be also a great cook and love to cook. And I told him, well, now you know where I get it from. My mom actually never liked to cook. She did it because she had to. Yeah. What about you guys? What did you guys eat growing up? What did your parents cook?
So much rice.
Yeah.
For dinner. So much rice. And the thing is, I love rice now, and
I'm
I
just
actually
imagining
eat so
it now
much of it.
because I have a lot of rice, but I wouldn't say so much.
It was every single dinner. It was rice. It's similar to you, just all Chinese, Taiwanese food. And actually, all of my meals were pretty. I think now that's why I'm so routine oriented now. Every single breakfast, it's always the same foundation. Every breakfast was 2 eggs, 3 different types of fruit, and a carb, and a cup of coffee with half coffee makes. I was in high school. And then lunch, my dad would say, you give me a lunch menu and we will buy whatever's on it. But if you don't publish a menu the Sunday before the week starts, you're on your own. Like, you gotta figure it out. Basically, I won't make your lunch.
How would you publish
I was just on a piece of scratch paper. I'd write like Monday I want a peanut butter banana sandwich, and like Tuesday I want this and that. Whatever it was, he would make it. But I had to come up with like what did I want to eat for lunch, and he was so sweet. And then dinner was always rice, same rice.
I love hearing all these stories about your dad.
Oh
I feel like he had a heart kind of like building on structure.
Yeah.
In his kids' lives, but also with a lot of love and just teaching like good habits and all of this.
Yeah, and always like flexibility to a degree, right? He's like, you have to publish the lunch menu, but you can put whatever you want on there, kind of thing. Besides Lunchables, I wasn't allowed to eat Lunchables.
What do you get, Lunchables?
Wasn't allowed to eat Lunchables, but pretty much anything else. But
were there requirements? Like there has to be a veggie, there has to be like a this or
no,
that?
I ate a Nutella sandwich, basically chocolate for lunch for like 5 years.
It worked out.
And he let me, so.
Yeah.
What about
That's
you,
great.
Cliff?
So my mom's Korean, my dad's from Hong Kong, and my dad loves American food, particularly steak and lobster. To this day, like he eats a lot of steak, a lot of lobster still. But growing up, our meals were very varied. I remember our dinner table being rice, a lot of rice, some kimchi, some sort of maybe Korean dish there as well. And then my dad might cook a steak and have some like Chinese stir fry. My dad, way back when, actually this was like, I don't remember memories of this, but up until age 2, they owned a Panda Express equivalent called a rickshaw.
That's so cool.
Out in Antioch. So like
nice.
deep in Spain.
Yeah.
And so my dad loves cooking Chinese food, cooking steak. So it was always a mix. And I thought that was normal actually. A lot of things you learn in life, once you get to college, you realize, oh wait, that's not how other families do it. Yes. So I thought meals were very varied like that, but just
What made your dad pivot careers? I know it's a little off topic.
No. Yeah, and
That's so interesting.
he worked at a casino before, and really he got laid off from the casino. Yeah, and then at that point in his 40s, I think, my words, not his, he hasn't really said this explicitly, but it was more like reconsidering like, what is he good at? What would be more of a long-term type of career? And my dad, I don't think he's very, very personable, loves telling stories.
Aww.
That's like a fun, very, very fun, kind of gregarious guy to be around. And he realized that like the insurance business is like stable, it's customer relationship driven, and working at a casino is just not very long-term. So, but I remember that was tough, like the first 2-3 years, like I remember scraping by. For him, and I guess also our family. So I learned a lot in those years, seeing him build his business up.
That's very cool.
Yeah, I love that. I feel like we all owe a lot to our parents, kind of what they've done for us, whether it's cooking our food or it's obviously just going to work and providing for us and teaching us, how to be good people at the end of the day. So,
Yeah.
If you weren't a realtor, what would your profession be?
Cliff, why don't you start?
I can go first.
Yeah.
This is a fun one for me. I really like playing basketball. It's still my cardio and hobby of choice, so I still play a few times a week. And I've always thought about being a basketball coach. So as a soon-to-be dad, I am excited if our daughter does take up basketball. I would be really excited to coach her basketball team at some point, and I've always just thought it'd be really fun to coach basketball.
That's so nice. I do see that for you, especially because it's something you're so passionate about too, and you've done for so long. So
Yeah. What do you love about basketball?
I love when your team is gelling and clicking together. It is a really, really fabulous thing because, like, unlike other sports where they're, I don't know, golf or tennis, where it's just you hitting the ball, and you really only have yourself to blame. A team, like any team sport, really, the team, the sum of its parts greater, or the part, the sum is greater than its parts.
yes. Yeah. You got there in the end.
But really, like, you could have 5 people who aren't maybe the most, like, you're playing against 5 people who are more athletic but just not as coordinated as a team. And it's a beautiful thing when it all clicks. And also there's an element of kind of like doing your job and doing your role well and knowing yourself a little bit.
Yeah.
So a lot of life lessons in basketball.
I can definitely see that. I also find, from what I've learned of you so far is like you're very strategic and you like strategy, and I feel like there's a lot of layers of strategy.
There is all the
to
different plays,
the plays, exactly.
learning about the other team,
Yep.
where their weaknesses are.
Yep. I feel like there's a lot of that in there that you probably like really dig into.
There's a lot of parallels.
I do love thinking about the matchups when I play.
Yeah.
And then exploiting those matchups.
There you
to our
go.
benefit.
Do you play like March Madness? Are you kind of into March Madness and yeah, all those
A little bit.
types of team stats and things like that?
I am a UC Berkeley Cal grad, and we've never had really a good team. So March Madness is not as fun. If you, yeah.
I get it.
I mean, neither do these.
What about you, Adeline?
I think if I weren't a realtor, I would love to be in event planning.
Wow.
I-
Weddings or any types of
I think any types of events. I think, weddings, of course, that's such a huge milestone of people's lives, or just, I'm sure parties, birthday parties, corporate events, anything. I think what I love about the idea of event planning is kind of creating moments for people, and like really understanding the flow of the event and, why everyone's there and how can you really help people walk away with this feeling of like, wow, that was so meaningful.
Yeah.
And I feel like that kind of stuff just like really, I just eat it all up,
Yeah.
And so just the idea of creating moments for people that will last, hopefully forever.
Yeah.
I think is just such a impactful thing that you can do. And so I think I would do that, on top of, all the designing, the decorating, the food that's involved, that is all just cherry on top.
It's like creative and stimulating for
Exactly.
you.
Yeah, and it's face to face with people, right? Like I think I mentioned earlier, like when I was in tech, it was a great gig first of all, but I will say that what I like about real estate and what I think I would love about event planning is just being able to be face to face with people and literally see their emotions and how they react to like what you put forth. So that's really fulfilling. I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so sweet.
Yeah.
Well, I saw all of that you just mentioned at your launch event a few months
Oh
ago.
yeah.
Yeah, no, you did such a really fabulous job
you.
putting all the fine little touches of it. Even like I remember the Polaroid photos and then had the Willamar square on top. And just seeing you in action, because I think that was early on when I kind of had met you.
Yeah.
Or in person at least.
Yeah.
And seeing you kind of work the room and just having all of your relationships and all your friends, and it was really special to see.
Thank you. Yeah.
And you did it was a great event.
Thanks. Yeah, that was. I'm really glad that we were able. Willamar supported us to do that, and so it was such a rewarding experience to not only put it on, but to have like people there, and just have everyone in my network and just like family and friends come together and have a good time. So yeah. All right, your turn.
Ooh, okay, so I'm the type of person that I've wanted to do so many jobs. I wish I had unlimited time and years in my life because I would try everything. This one job I've always wanted to do,
Phoebe
but I've
was ready
never
for this
gotten to
question.
do. I love this question. I've always wanted to be a bartender for whatever reason.
So good. I just know it.
And I've even thought about like recently, do I have time to take on a part-time bartending gig? Because it's something I've always
I
wanted
feel like you're
to
serious
do.
about this.
No, I'm really serious. This isn't a joke. I like actually would love to be a bartender. And then I also love working with students. I think I just really like mentorship and working with students for whatever reason. Like in high school, I worked at a summer camp and then eventually like ran that summer camp. And I also just, I really feel like when I was in college, I got so much out of other young professionals or people in the industry or even just like people older than me. And so, just the idea of paying it forward and also helping mold young minds and things like that, I think is really inspiring. So I think maybe I would be some sort of like school counselor or professor, something along those lines. And then if money wasn't an object, then I think I would work for like a dog rescue or some sort of animal rescue.
Yeah. Oh, we can still do that.
We can also do that and like volunteer and things like that. Yeah. So those are just 3 of the probably 500 other professions I would undertake.
Those are
I can see you thriving in all of those, first of all. And we should also mention that you had a very successful event partnering with a dog rescue in the East Bay.
Yeah.
I just loved
so
how
fun.
like your passion for real estate and your passion for animal rescue were able to come together in like one event.
Yeah.
So nice.
What kind of bartender? You talk like dive bar? Or you like cocktail?
Ooh, you know what? I don't discriminate. I'll go wherever I am called. Anywhere you give me a shaker and some liquor, I will be at the ready.
I got a good. What's your drink of choice? What's everyone's drink of choice?
My drink of choice. I am not like the biggest alcohol person. Like I like a drink that I can't taste the alcohol. And so typically that means something sugary, fruity, sour. But I will say my liquor of choice is typically gin.
Nice.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
with the
Like a
pina
little gin
coladas.
fizz or
Yeah, with
something.
some Saint Germain or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's
A
one.
little bit of.
Okay.
A little here.
I'm not a bartender, clearly.
That's funny. What's yours, the?
Mine, what comes to mind is an old fashioned.
So classy.
Yes.
So polished.
You know,
so
it's like
classy.
a lot of bang for your buck. You get a good,
A lot of liquor.
you got a lot of liquor for that. For
Okay.
that one drink, yeah.
Okay, I can respect that, and it is a very respectable drink as well.
Yeah. You don't feel
Class.
weird ordering a old thing. You know, everyone's like, oh, old fashioned, you know.
Yeah,
What about
so
gin fizz?
I actually don't know
think
what a
it
gin
comes with
fizz
it.
is, but I just had the same motion when I feel like you order a gin fizz by going, I'll
like
take a
that
gin fizz.
with the hand motion.
What about you, Phoebe?
Anything kind of more refreshing, not too sweet. I really like, gingers or mints or muddled strawberry, things like that with like a clear alcohol. So there's a drink called the Strawberry Fields, which is muddled strawberry. I think it's soda water, mint, and some vodka. And it's
Oh, that
so
sounds-
refreshing and just light. Yeah. So anything like that.
Do you like Aperol spritz?
They're okay. They're okay. They're a little sweet for me. I don't know if I like Aperol.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. I find it bitter.
Yes.
Oh.
I don't like Aperol because it's bitter, not because it's sweet. I don't think it's sweet enough for me.
Yeah.
Oh.
Same. Yeah. I was like, I don't think it's sweet.
I woke up on January 1st this year actually, and I decided I loved a Bloody Mary now.
Oh my gosh, that's all we can talk about.
It is all I
Isn't
can.
it?
Adeline knows this actually because it happened. It was so
I think
recent.
the first thing you said when we got to the resort was like, I want a Bloody Mary.
I never liked it, and I woke up in 2024. I woke up and decided I love Bloody Marys. Do you like them?
Yeah, because a good Bloody Mary is
They're really
is pretty darn good.
Yeah. Okay. So you're on the team.
I don't have an opinion.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Not sweet enough.
I mean, that's
Totally,
probably
yeah.
why.
Okay.
Okay, we got 2 rapid fire-ish questions. First answer that comes to mind. What's a piece of advice you would give a new real estate agent?
Why are you looking at me? Okay. A piece of advice I would give a new real estate agent is to put yourself out there, as cheesy as that might sound, and don't be afraid of rejection. I actually think something that Kenny recently mentioned to us was really helpful, kind of a mindset shift of like, if you're not getting rejected enough, you're not putting yourself out there enough.
That's good.
Yeah. So if you're not getting rejected enough, you're not putting yourself out there
Sounds like a
enough.
Kennyism. Yeah.
Yeah.
We need a series called Kennyism.
So good.
Oh, that's a nice. Kennyisms, yeah.
Okay.
And so I feel like that really helped with my mindset shift. And he even said, take it one step further and see if you can set a goal for how many rejections you get. So every time you get rejected, it's actually a win.
Yeah. Because you're
yeah.
moving towards.
yeah, which I think really helped with changing my mindset.
Yeah. I would say get on the phone. Get very comfortable getting on the phone and just calling people. The faster you get comfortable, just asking the hard questions, getting on the phone, getting what you need, the faster you'll grow, I think, and the better you will be at representing your clients.
That's a great one. Yeah. Mine is similar to both of yours, or what Adeline was saying. Go all in. And I think this is a job where people can feel like they want to hedge a little bit, and I understand that, but I think going all in terms of your mental and kind of time commitment is a huge one to be successful in this field. And then also related to yours is the communication piece.
Yes.
I think oftentimes people communicate with others how they prefer to be communicated with, but that is not the recipe for success, because that other person might not want a text message, they might want a phone call.
Yeah,
So
that's
to your point, phone call is a winning winning formula usually.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, phone call first, because it's also harder for people to, first of all, not answer like their questions if they're already on the phone with you.
Definitely.
And especially if you're asking a harder question, it's also like harder for them to like not answer, or they can actually even give away things without saying anything. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That they probably wouldn't want to, necessarily write on paper and things like that. So, yeah.
All right, we got one last question. Words to live by. I just keep thinking of very cliche things, but just have fun. I think for me, this job has really enabled me to realize that like work can be very fun and fulfilling. It didn't need to be what I experienced working in finance or working in tech. Tech was generally pretty fun, but working as a teacher, I've had a lot of different jobs over the years, but there's always something like, well, it's this, but there's a big trade-off of this other thing, and having to balance that. But this is a job where I feel like you can have fun, and also those trade-offs might not be as apparent. So those are my words to live by. Have fun.
Have fun. Okay.
Love it.
I think mine is uber cliche, but I think mine is just do it. Just do it. Very Phil Knight, very Oregon-esque, aligned with my alma mater. But I really think that I feel like my favorite experiences and the decisions I never regret are the ones that I just like make decisively. I find that a lot of times when I agonize over, one particular decision or one particular thing for a really long time, actually degrades the experience, whatever I end up choosing, because I spent so much time like sitting in it. And so of course be thoughtful about your decisions, but I also think there's a spirit of just do it, just grab that opportunity, just experience life, because our time is so limited.
Yeah, I love that. I think there's a lot of, in life, you can overanalyze a lot and try to weigh every decision by putting data points together, but at a certain point it comes down to you, your gut, and to really learn how to trust that, I think, is something you learn over time, certainly. Okay, mine's really cliche too, but
Cliches are good, huh? Yeah.
I mean,
It's a reason why it's popular.
I know. It also, well, no, literally, it's like the most cliche thing. It's also something that I think goes back to what I said earlier, something my mom has always said to me, and probably your parents have always said to you, which is like, do your best, right, at the end of the day. And if you do your best, you can trust that you've done what you can, with the information that you had at any given time, for whoever in your life, whether it's your clients, whether it's your family, whether it's your friends, just showing up as your best, do your best for those around you, and then you'll never have to doubt whether or not you did so.
Yeah.
We're ready to be Asian parents. We're ready.
Nailed it.
I still have a few years, but at least a year or two.